Siblings of the golden child. When did your parents' favoritism come back to bite them? My brother Ethan was the sun in our family's solar system. 2 years older, more important. The favoritism was so blatant, it became a family joke, except I was the only one not laughing. When we were kids, Ethan got brand new clothes while I wore his hand-me-downs. For his 16th birthday, he got a car. For mine, a used bicycle and a lecture about responsibility. I worked through high school to save for college while Ethan partied his way to mediocre grades. Somehow, he still got a full ride from our parents to an expensive private university while I was told to apply for scholarships and loans. "We just can't afford pay for both of you," my mother would say with that practiced look of regret. I believed them until the day I discovered their financial records while looking for my birth certificate. They had over $300,000 in investments and a vacation property I'd never even heard about. The betrayal cut deep, but I swallowed it and focused on building my own life. I worked full-time through community college, transferred to state university, and graduated with honors in computer science. Meanwhile, Ethan changed majors 4 times before settling on business administration, taking 6 years to finish a 4-year degree. After college, I landed a job at a tech startup while Ethan struggled to find work. That's when the pattern shifted. My parents gave him $20,000 to get on his feet, money they'd never offered me. 6 months later, he was back asking for more. They gave him another $15,000 to start a small business importing specialty foods. It failed within a year. Each time, they'd bail him out while telling me how proud they were that I was so independent. The real turning point came 3 years later. I'd been promoted twice and was doing well financially. Ethan had cycled through 4 jobs and was living in our parents' basement. Then my father was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. My mother called me in tears, not about my father's condition, but about money. They'd spent almost everything on Ethan's failed ventures and a series of bad investments he'd convinced them to make. Their retirement fund was nearly depleted. The vacation property had been mortgaged to the hilt. They needed help paying for my father's medical care. I was stunned. All those years of "we can't afford it" had ended with them having nothing when they actually needed it. I confronted my mother with the evidence, and she broke down completely. "We always knew Ethan needed more help," she sobbed. "You were always so capable." That's when I realized their favoritism hadn't been about loving him more. It was about believing in me more. They never helped me because they knew I didn't need it. They always helped him because they knew he couldn't function without it. The irony was crushing. At the family meeting I laid out 2 options: sell the house to pay for Dad's care, or I would cover the expenses but with conditions. Ethan would need to get a real job, pay back what he could, and most importantly, my parents would need to stop enabling him. My mother chose option 2, but Ethan exploded, calling me cold. My father's condition deteriorated quickly. During his lucid moments, he would apologize for not treating us equally. "We thought we were preparing you for the real world," he said once, "but we were just punishing you for being strong." 3 years later, my mother lives in a small apartment I help pay for. My father is in a memory care facility. And Ethan? He finally had to stand on his own feet. He works at a warehouse and shares an apartment with roommates. He's angry and bitter about his bad luck, still not understanding that his golden child status was actually what ruined him. The favoritism that was supposed to give him an advantage became the very thing that left him unprepared for life. Sometimes I wonder if they ever realized that their greatest gift to me was expecting me to succeed on my own.